Hello, Sue. Thank you for joining me at your small business podcast. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I am honored you are on the show to give my listeners some great value about emails and email marketing. But first, I want to, of course, I like to start the show with the icebreaker question. Okay.
Okay.
So, my question to you is if you had to pick one meal to eat off of for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, it would have to be lobster. A
Lobster.
whole lobster. My mom taught me how to get every piece of meat out of a lobster, including the itty bitty claws. Yeah.
Oh, really? You know,
So,
I think I've only ate lobster once. Is that bad?
so yeah, it takes me, a good hour to clean out a lobster.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's some good
Some
eating.
people give up, they give up when they get to just the tail and a little bit of the claws, and that's it. But nope. Yeah, and I miss
That's
my lobster. I haven't had lobster in a while.
yeah, that's
So,
some good eating.
yes,
If you
it
and
is.
if it takes an hour, that's some good eating.
It makes for a good conversation on a date. I actually ordered lobster on a date once. It was a seafood restaurant, and I spent, the hour talking and working on my lobster.
Oh wow. I bet he was watching you and taking notes too of how you was cleaning that
Well,
sucker out.
we did go out again, so I guess it wasn't a bad thing.
Oh boo, his loss. Who cares? Who
No, we
cares?
did. We did go out again.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I thought you said you didn't. Okay,
No, so it's
good.
not a bad thing because some women they order salads and they think, oh, I have to be dainty, but I'm not like that.
Mm-mm. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a marketing strategist and educator. Tell us exactly what is that for people who have no clue what that is.
Okay, so I help small businesses and entrepreneurs. Even though small business is actually identified as like 500 employees or less, I'm talking about 10 employees or less, or an entrepreneur. And so I help them figure out their marketing goals, or their sales goals. What are they trying to do in their business, and how and then I help them to reach those goals. And we strategize different marketing ideas. I do mostly digital marketing, so I work with email and social media and
Mhm.
websites. So I don't do the traditional marketing, where flyers and things like that. Although all of it is good, it all works, I think.
Right.
But I work mostly teaching. I do workshops, and I do. In person and online workshops. I don't do in person right now, but I do that. I also am a volunteer with SCORE, which is a small part of the Small Business Administration, and I do workshops for them as well in email marketing and also social media. And part of that is in educating them. So I not only give the tools and ideas, but I also teach them if they want to go out and do it themselves or even hire someone else.
Mhm.
But I like to give the information that they need in order to grow their business, and it's just so doable with social media and email marketing because it's such low cost.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, definitely, because everybody has an email.
yeah. Hmm.
Yes, and for free. So since you touched on that, of course, our main focus today is the email marketing part of it. So let's dive into that. So why is email marketing so important for running a business?
Okay, so I think that email is the king and social media is the queen. They do
Mhm.
work together, but I don't know if you remember when Instagram and Facebook went down for a day or a few hours a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, everybody started freaking out and going to their email lists, telling people that they couldn't be followed, or they had something to share, but they couldn't do it because it was down. Well, with email marketing, you don't have to worry so much about that. You have your follower. I'm sorry, you have your subscribers and people that you can reach directly, as opposed to social media where they have to find you. It's sort of like the opposite.
Mhm.
So you have to find the balance, and that's where email marketing and social media sort of come together. But with email marketing, the messaging is much more available to the subscribers, especially when people sign up for your email list, you know they want to hear from you.
Yes.
You have their attention more.
Hmm. That's great. That's good. So I've heard a lot of people talk about how with email, like you said, you have access to those people. So if Instagram, Facebook goes out or something happens, sometimes, they take your profile away,
Hmm.
or you're in Facebook jail for 30
Yeah,
days for whatever reason, and then you cannot get to your clients, your customers. So it's the best thing to have is that email list. So whatever happens to those platforms that you don't own, you do own your email list, and those are
exactly.
yours to keep. That is very,
Right.
very key when it comes to having an email list.
Yeah, and people don't realize that sometimes. So it is important to know that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, what is the first thing someone should do if they want to build their email list? What is some key things that they need to start doing to build that?
Well, first they need to know what market that they're targeting, because they need to figure out content that's going to attract that market. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you want to be specific on who you're reaching, and then provide value by segmenting your list to specific niches within that market. So let's just say you're a store that has, um, I don't know, body care. Okay. And you offer bath bombs, you also offer hand lotion, and then you offer, say, different fragrances, lavender, essential oils, right? Lavender, and there are some people who will never use a lotion, but they definitely want to use the bath bomb. So if you're sending an email to your entire list of just the store owners and they don't want to know about the lotion, and they only want to know about the bath bomb, you might lose the interest to them. So if you keep sending the
Mm.
same thing over and over to them, when they don't want to hear that, you might get some unsubscribes. So it's important to do your targeting and then your segmenting to offer the super fans, the people who want specific things, and give them what they want.
And that's awesome. And that goes directly into the next question I was going to ask was about the segmenting. Like, what was the benefit of doing that? But like you said, it's not actually sending out the same information to everyone because some people don't like this, they have their preferences, they don't like that. So you can directly target what product to send to what person.
Right.
So
Some
that's
people
the
just,
benefit of
yeah,
segmenting.
some people just keep a general list, but
Hmm.
I have like 30 different lists because I sometimes only send to women. So I have a list of just women.
Mm.
I have a list of people who've just been to my workshops who only will do things with me in person. Then I have people who work with me online who maybe in other states, like yourself,
Hmm.
and they can't access me directly. So that's how in marketing, it's going to be different than it would be for another industry. So obviously, you have to choose what works for you. It's not just your industry, but it's also your business as well and how it works. And the more you send out emails, the more you're able to break down and segment that list as well.
That makes a lot of sense. It really does. Because I think I only have mine segmented to two. I have like bloggers and then my podcast people, and that's it. So I probably need to go back and segment some more of my own self because I
Yeah,
only have two.
yeah, yeah. Most people don't segment that as much as they should, but it really is very helpful.
Yes. And of course, it can bring you more sales because you're giving them exactly what they want
Hmm.
and exactly what they're looking for and need instead of giving them a bunch of something that they don't want. And like you said, then risk the chance of them actually unsubscribing. So you can target exactly what they want.
Basically.
That's awesome. That makes a lot of sense. So as far as getting those email subscribers, because you mentioned about the target audience. So what's the best way to actually get them to capture leads when
Oh
it
my God.
comes to email
Okay. I
marketing?
can't say there's a best way because, again, every industry and every business is different, but I can give you some ideas of the different ways,
Hmm.
and it works for different people. And it's all about testing. You have to test, what's working. So definitely if someone has a website, they want to have a lead in an inline form, which will capture leads. Um, You can have a pop-up form that will come up on your website. What you can either time it for, like, if somebody's on your website for 15 seconds, or you can have it where when upon exiting the website, it pops up. So there's
Mm-hmm.
different things you can do that way. Those are two ways, through a website. And then you can have links in your posts, like your social media posts. You
Mm-hmm.
can have a link in your Instagram bio. You can have a link in your email signature on your regular emails, like in your Gmail or your, Yahoo accounts, in addition to obviously your email marketing service.
Mm-hmm.
And you can create separate landing pages. So there's so many different, ways to, you have to be creative.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways, and then once you figure out, like, where are your leads coming from, remember, it's not just doing all of this, it's checking what's working. So you have to look at your reporting. Every time you have a lead capture form, there's technology behind it where you can find out what your statistics are in relations to how many times somebody looked at it and how many times somebody entered their information. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to know what to do with the information in order to make better decisions, going forward.
That's a great point. Because I think a lot of people, I know some people don't, I do know of some people that I know that actually doesn't do that. And I always tell them, go back and look at your analytics and see if that actually works. Because I know when I'm doing Facebook ads and whatnot, and even my email marketing, I go back and look and see how many people opened it,
Mhm.
what time did they open it, all that good stuff. So you can see what's actually working. Because if it's not, it's something that you just don't need to do anymore. You need to come up with something else.
Right, of
But
course.
that's a great point.
And oh
Um,
wait, and of course, Facebook, Instagram ads, and LinkedIn, any ads that
mhm,
you, and Google ads, they all are. I'm just trying to give you some from free and expensive, but you can also do
mhm,
advertising, definitely, to capture leads for sure.
yes, to add to your email list, definitely. As far as because we're talking about capturing leads, so I know a lot of times people like to use lead magnets to capture those leads. And like you said, you have your lead magnet, and they come to the landing page to enter their information in. What have you found is to be one of the best lead magnets to use to capture those email addresses from people?
Well, I mostly use how-to guides and signups on my website, and the links. But there's different types of information that you can give out. So, of course, anytime that you want to capture leads and get people to come into your space to get subscribers, you need to have, I just lost my train of thought. Um, you have to figure out whether you want to use like an ebook.
Hmm.
If you want, oh, I'm sorry, an incentive. So you have to offer an incentive in
Right.
return for getting someone's email address. And you can do that in create. You have to think creatively and figure out, uh, try different things. You have to test. So you can try
Hmm.
quizzes. They're supposed to work very well. I'm in the middle of creating a quiz. I haven't quite gotten up to that to figure out, like, what's your email marketing style, basically, is what my quiz will be.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to try to help people, like, should they be sending weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, daily? Never, I never say daily, but different days of the week and all that. So you can try quizzes. Like I said, they work great. Ebooks.
Hmm.
I usually do like how-to guides. Um, there's lots of different ways.
It is. I've done ebooks
Hmm.
because I love to write. So I do ebooks,
Good.
and that actually works. I think ebooks is one of the ones that's the most common, and it
Mhm.
does work really, really well for those who know how to write. I think it all boils down to too, what are you good at before you make a lead magnet? Like, can you
Mhm.
actually write? Okay, well, if you're a good writer, do an ebook. Are you really good with graphics? Maybe make a checklist,
Right,
or
right.
something like that. Whatever your strong point is,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
far as making, because you don't want to make an ebook and you're not a good writer and
No.
everything is misspelled and you
Yeah.
will not capture anyone's email
Mhm.
address.
You got to work.
with that.
You have to work to your strengths, but also find out what does your audience want. So you can do a poll. You can send out an email. You can send a poll out in your email and ask
Mm-hmm.
people how do they like to give people information. Do they like to get ebooks, a digital download? Do they like to fill out quizzes? And that's a great way to figure out what you should be offering.
Yes, that is a good point because a lot of people, a lot of times when you're stuck and trying to figure out what to give your audience, a lot of times you can just ask them and they'll
That's
tell
right.
you and then you just go do it. It's like it's
Right.
easy win-win. You asked, I answered, here you go. Yeah, so that always works. I think a lot of people don't even think like that. Just
Right.
ask.
Do your
Just
own market research with your own audience,
exactly, because people don't mind telling you what they need.
Right.
They always
Right.
say, hey, this is what I need help on. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
need. So when you go and ask them, then you deliver on what they said they wanted. And there you
Mm-hmm.
go.
So
You've
you can
made it
do
in
it.
another
You can do
sale.
that in email and you can do it on your social media pages too.
As far as the quizzes, can you let us know what platform you're actually using to make a quiz? I've actually been thinking about it myself, but I haven't started my research yet. But I've been thinking about making a lead magnet as a quiz. What platform are you using?
I have not used the platform yet. I'm just writing
Hmm.
out my quiz
Oh,
at this point,
that
so I
makes a
have,
lot of sense.
yeah, I got to do my questions, then I'll do it. But I do have, I keep all of my resources in Trello. So I have a list. I can't think offhand, but I have a list of, like course platforms, books to read from people, podcasts
Hmm.
to listen to. And I have also like platforms for quizzes as well.
Oh, wow. Trello. How do you
Yeah.
spell that?
Oh, it's Trello.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll put that in the show notes for someone who
Oh,
might want to start using that because I've never heard of that. I'm thinking I
you
might
gotta
need to
look
use
into
that
it.
too. That's
Mhm,
good.
mhm.
Good, good, good. So as far as this is a biggie that I know people are want to know is what are some tips on how to get people to open the email? I know
Mm.
sometimes when I'm looking at my analytics and I have, I might have 30 people who opened it and then have, 15 that didn't. And I'm like, I wonder why they didn't open it. So what
Mhm.
are some good tips to even just to get your email open?
Okay. Well, more people don't open emails than they do open them. So some people are upset when they see a low open rate, but that's just how it works. You cannot gonna never get 100%. It's like 8 to 28% is a good open rate. So the average is about 15-16% is a good open rate. And I have found that the larger your email list, the lower the open rate is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's higher if you segment the list. It's going to be a lot higher if you do the segmenting. So we touched a little bit on that. Um, but your subject line and who the email is coming from are the most important things that will decide whether somebody's going to open up your email or not. I know, like, the first thing people do in the morning is look at their
Mm-hmm.
emails,
Right.
or scroll their social media, but mostly it's looking at their emails. So when you scroll down, your email inbox, the first thing I do is I look at who the email's from, then I look at the subject line. So it's really important to have a recognizable name um, on who it's from. So what I try to do is have my first name, my last name, and my company name,
Mm-hmm.
because there are some people who know me on social media just by my name, but I have a company name
Right.
that a lot of people that I know locally know my company name, and they know my obviously my first and last name. But if I use it together, then I'm sure not to lose certain people knowing who I am. So it's important to figure out, do people know you by a nickname? Do you have a very memorable first name where people don't even need to know your last name?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be known as, some sort of a specialist? You might be like a healthy living specialist as opposed to your name, or you could use your business name. But you want to do a combination, and I would not just put your first name. I've gotten emails from just first names, and I just delete them. How many? Well,
Yeah.
you might not know that many Sues now because it's an old name, but there are some common names where you might see two, three, or four in your inbox, and you say, oh, yeah, who's this person? And you may not take the time to actually read the email because you just didn't want to take the time to figure out who that person was and why would they be sending just their first name. So
Hmm.
that's important.
It is, and I actually do that. I just have I'm feeling like, oh, I need it. When we finish this recording, I'm gonna go back and take my notes, okay?
Yeah,
Because I
you
do
have some
that.
work to
I have
do.
just my name is just Janice, and it's very common. And I bet
Oh,
the ones who are not opening them is like, who is Janice? Delete.
mm,
It's me. It's me.
yeah,
I actually do that, so I've got to fix that.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you too about when you were talking about, of course, when you first thing you get up and you look at your email, and of course, the title that attracts if someone's going to open it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some good ways to have those eye-catching titles or those titles that make you say, oh, I gotta open this?
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
some good ways to have good titles for them to open? Because sometimes if the title isn't appealing, I won't open it.
yeah. So also, it depends on what, like if you're opening an email from someone that you recognize the name from, you're already going to open it. So it's not such a big deal what the subject is in that case, but
Hmm.
for you to sort of stand out in the inbox, because there's a lot of competition in that inbox,
Hmm.
you do have to be specific and creative with your subject line. So there are some rules to follow as far as research, goes. You want to keep the subject line short, simple, easy to read. You don't want to, there's certain things you don't want to do. You don't want to do all caps. You don't want to do too many emojis or exclamation points, no, excessive punctuation.
Hmm.
And you want to keep it like six, I think the sweet spot is like 6 words.
Okay.
Create urgency, if you want people to open it up, if there's something that's coming up soon, you might want to use words like open today or ending soon, something that's going
Mm.
to push someone to open it. But you don't want to do this clickbait or switch and bait, whatever it's called, where you have a false subject line and whatever's inside doesn't match. That's not good practice.
I've seen somewhere the title is something, and then you click it and it'll say, okay, so now I have your attention, and then
Yeah,
it goes into something different. So that's a
yeah,
big no-no.
that's a big no-no. And
Okay.
also using spam, any kind of spammy words, like most things that have to do with money, sometimes free, free sometimes will go into the spam folder.
Hmm.
Act now, anything really salesy will go
Mm.
into spam. But I say that the best way to figure out, what's spammy is to look in your own spam folder. And whatever you're seeing in those subject lines, just avoid those.
That is a good point. I'm going to do that. All of you who are listening are going to do that too. I've never thought about that ever.
Yeah.
Is to actually look in my spam folder to see what sounds spammy.
Well, no, not what sounds spammy. If it's in your spam box, it is spammy. So
Yeah,
don't, avoid those things.
I didn't realize that. So in your email, if it's spammy and has spammy words, your email will automatically send to spam.
It can. It depends on how strict your regular, your email is. Like Gmail, I use Gmail, and it catches almost every, like I'd say out of 25 emails that go into my spam, there might be one or two that shouldn't have been in there. So they catch a lot of it. But I don't use any other, like I don't know how AOL is. I know there are a lot of people who still use AOL, and I don't know how,
Really? I
yeah.
didn't even know that still existed.
Yeah. I've never had AOL, but I have had other, email addresses. So yeah, it
Yeah, not
depends.
saying nothing bad about AOL. If anyone
No,
uses it, that's fine, long as your email works and it don't matter. But I just really
right.
I haven't seen that in so long. I just really didn't think it was
Yeah.
being used. But that's really interesting. Like I never even thought about that whole spammy thing. And then if it's some keywords or look spammy, they just automatically kick it into the spam
Yep.
folder. But that is a good practice to do, is to go back and look at those emails to see what it is and what it looks like, and to avoid that at all costs. That is a good point.
Yeah.
So that's another one I have to write down. You are dropping some great value gems in this show. Um, I wanted to talk about your new project you're doing. Well, let's take that back because this is aired another date. So you've already did this project, but it's called Email with Ease. Tell us about that project.
So I found that a lot of people having trouble, so hard. I can't figure out what to write. I can't figure out, when's the best time to send it? How often should I send it? How do I come up, lots of struggles with email. And I found that people were hating on their email. So I want to make it easy for people. So I came up with Email with Ease, and this particular project is called Inbox Love Fest. So it's a way for people to end the love-hate relationship that they have with email, and I want them to fall in love with their inbox. So I created a course, and it's got a program. It's not just a course, so it has some coaching in it, and those are some bonuses that are available with the course. And it's basically like hand holding. I am going to teach. I'm going to teach people also some of what I've learned and used in my workshops, my regular workshops, and things like we've talked about today. Those tips and those tricks that some people don't know and secrets are inside of the course. And it's just people who don't, it's to help small businesses grow using email marketing, because a lot of people are not taking advantage of such a simple tool that's available to everybody.
Mhm.
So I think it's really important. Um, so it's a self-paced course, and I'm very excited about it. And um, if people have questions, they can email me. I don't think I mentioned that I'm also a certified local expert and speaker for Constant Contact, which is one of the leading email marketing providers.
Yes.
And a lot of what I said today is based on best practices that Constant Contact has provided over the 20 something years that they've been in business. I've been using Constant Contact for like 15 years, and I've
Wow.
been a local expert with them for 6 years. And every year, I have to be certified, and I help people who have Constant Contact accounts to optimize, how they're using it, because they don't know half the features. I mean, even with, other email marketing systems, people don't know half the features that are in there.
Right.
So
My
yeah,
goodness.
so I help people to discover, new things inside of tools that they could use to help them.
That is awesome. Well, it has been so great talking to you. I have learned so much. I hope everyone else has too, because, like I said, email marketing is something that everyone has, and it's for free for you to use to get more clients, get more leads, make more sales. And it's
Right.
like, why are you not using this? You're going to pay Facebook, you're going to pay Instagram. Well, why not use your email that's for free to get you those sales and those leads you need? That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So I will leave all of your links in the show notes where people can get a hold of you and enroll in your course, Email with Ease. I love that title too.
Thank you.
It makes you feel relaxed. It's like, oh, this is going to be easy.
Right. I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
take
be
care of
able to do
you.
this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on your
Exactly.
side. I'm your girl. So thank you
That
so much.
is
Thank you.
awesome.
I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Hopefully, we'll be talking soon. We'll do another show. I
Okay.
appreciate you.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Is it still recording?